In my recent video, I took a look at how Delta Squad from Republic Commando would fare against a Yautja. In that video, I talked about a couple different predators and how their different skills and equipment could affect the outcome. But in today's video, I'll only be focusing on one, Wolf from AVP Requiem. Today we'll be putting him up against the iconic Umbrella bioweapon, Nemesis. Now I'll only be using RE3 Remake Nemesis for two reasons. The first being that he's the most recent interpretation of the character, and the second being that, well, I haven't played OG RE3 yet. And before you click off the video, please, I promise I'll get around to it at some point. Just cut me some slack, man. However you want this hypothetical matchup to happen is up to you. But for the sake of keeping things simple, we'll just say that the fight will take place in Raccoon City, since, well, that's the only place we ever see Nemesis. We also won't be factoring in Jill, so no Jill teams up with the Predator to take Nemesis down. That would be super unfair. Besides, I don't think he'll be needing her help anyway. Shout out to this user for the video idea, and if any of you guys have more ideas for matchups or scenarios, make sure to leave them down in the comments below. We're also on the road to 10k, so if you end up enjoying the video, make sure to drop a like and sub to the channel. I have plenty of other similar videos already up, and more dropping in the near future. But with the intro stuff out of the way, let's get into it. For a quick overview of Wolf's equipment and feats, Wolf is an elite ranked Yautja capable of casually soloing multiple superhuman xenomorphs at once, and even being able to go hit for hit with a Predalien, who are strong enough to shake an entire underground temple and make it start collapsing. He's also incredibly smart and a great tactician. In AVP Requiem, he seals off the exits to an underground sewer system with laser mines, then purposely attracts a group of Xenos to him, using the plasma caster to blow them into the lasers. Speaking of the plasma caster, it's capable of easily blowing holes through armored xenomorphs and even through the hull of Predator spaceships. The Predator wrist blades are pretty impressive as well, being shown to cut clean through the side of a tank in the comics, and the only time we really see them get damaged is by xenomorph acid. Wolf also has access to the whip, shuriken, previously mentioned laser mines, combi stick, power punch glove, self-destruct device, and dissolving fluid. The shuriken in particular are pretty crazy. A single shuriken was able to easily cut through a xenomorph, then cut a human in half. But one thing we have to talk about is the dissolving liquid, which is low-key insane. Wolf injected it into a xenomorph and it was instantly dissolved, seemingly including the acid, meaning this liquid is even more potent than xenoblood, which is shown multiple times melting through the hull of starships. So yeah, Wolf and his equipment can be kinda nasty. But what about Nemesis? Well, outside of the fact that he's bald, probably has gingivitis, and has the walk animation of a toddler going to the fridge for apple juice, I'm not gonna lie, it's not really looking good for him. In his first encounter with Jill, he kicks her in the stomach and she takes no long-term damage from this. Then he grabs her and slams her into the ground, which once again, Jill just gets up and runs away immediately after. No mention or sign of broken bones, no long-term damage at all, and in fact she goes on to fight him and dozens of other zombies after this. You also can't really argue he was holding back since, well, he's not an anime character, alright? He's not Goku who's going to hold back for the sake of testing his opponent. Nemesis' one and only goal is to kill STARS members, so these hits should be him not holding back. He is capable of ripping chunks of concrete out of a building and throwing them with ease. He also tanks getting hit by a car, falling off a building, then walking through an explosion, only to immediately be one-shot by a rocket launcher, though this only incapacitated him temporarily. He was also able to react and catch the first missile, but couldn't do the same for the second, for some reason. Also earlier when he got hit by the car, he had Jill by the neck yet didn't or couldn't kill her. He should be strong enough to easily snap her neck, but as you'll come to see, Nemesis isn't very smart. One ability Nemesis has is that he can turn people into advanced infected, though I'm unsure if he can only do this to normal zombies or if he's capable of doing it to non-infected humans as well. During the second encounter with Jill, he once again makes a very weird decision, literally grabbing Jill by the fucking cranium, and instead of just popping her head like a balloon, he tosses her away and slowly raises his weapon, giving her a chance to run away. And yeah, he has a flamethrower now. Not a whole lot to go over, to be honest. It has a huge fuel tank and it's just a normal flamethrower. Towards the end of the fight with Jill, he uses it as a melee weapon, which, not gonna lie, was pretty cool. Shortly afterwards, he appears once again with a laser-guided rocket launcher, which Jill is able to dodge, so his aim must not be that great. He does have a pretty decent intelligence feat here though, shooting the giant head off the top of a building to make it fall towards Jill. Once again showing a pretty decent durability feat by stepping on a claymore, and the blast doesn't really seem to do any real damage to him. Honestly, he kinda just looks offended that they would even try that on him.
Hey, you okay?
Really, nigga?
After tanking the explosion of a fuel truck, he transforms into what I'll just refer to as Dog Nemesis. Here he has trouble hitting Jill at all, and is incapacitated by a grenade launcher. Yeah, I know, what an upgrade from his previous form, right? When he encounters Jill again, he's completely submerged by acid, and if you can give Nemesis one thing so far, it's his durability and the fact that he can adapt to almost anything if given enough time or taken enough damage. Final phase Nemi is massive, and the only way Jill was able to take him out is the luck of having a railgun in the same room, which even then it took multiple shots to finally put him down, with the railgun being so powerful that it blew through multiple likely reinforced walls of the underground nest. So with all stages of Nemesis done, who's more likely to come out on top? I'm gonna keep it real, I think Nemesis stands pretty much no chance. He had multiple opportunities to kill Jill and just didn't for some reason. I know I'll get comments about how it's due to plot armor, but regardless, it still happened. The writers didn't have to put Jill in multiple situations where Nemesis could have easily killed her. It's poor writing, sure, but regardless, that's what happened. To give a little credit to Nemesis, RE characters tend to be shown capable of superhuman feats, and Jill is no exception. So you can make the argument for Jill having some slight superhuman speed, durability, and reaction time, but that isn't enough of an excuse to save Nemesis here. The plasma caster should easily be able to blow off Nemi's head and limbs. I mean, that brother got one shot by a missile launcher, and the shurikens would probably be similarly effective. If he had trouble fatally wounding Jill, then he has no chance against Wolf, who's pushing 600 pounds, and predators have shown insane durability feats themselves. The city hunter was shot multiple times, had his arm cut off, and was having trouble breathing, yet could still fight. So a punch or kick that can't even take Jill out won't be taking out Wolf. The flamethrower and rocket launcher really don't make a difference. I'd actually argue the flamethrower makes things worse because Wolf with his infrared vision would clearly see that it's a fuel tank and probably immediately hit it with a plasma shot. Nemesis making little thralls shouldn't really be an issue either. They're incredibly slow, and Wolf has the strength to easily cut them in half or blow them away with the caster. Dog Nemi is also an easy W. He was taken out by acid, and all Wolf has to do to put him down for good is inject him with dissolving liquid like he did to the xenomorph in the film, and as we went over, Dog Nemesis was taken out by acid that probably wasn't even comparable to Xeno acid, nevertheless dissolving liquid, which is even more potent. Honestly, he might not even reach his final stage, that might just end him completely. But if it doesn't and Wolf has to square off against final stage Nemesis, all he has to do is activate his wrist self-destruct device and throw it, then run away, which we saw Scar from the first AVP film do. I honestly just don't see any way Nemesis pulls out a W here. I honestly was expecting this to be a much fairer fight, but as I started doing research, it became more and more one-sided. Shout out to SithLord96 for supporting the channel. It means the world to me, and if you guys are interested in supporting a small creator, please consider hitting the join button down below. As always, I appreciate you guys for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.